Arthur Presley, also known as 30 Deep Grimeyy, was already a convicted felon when he was caught with a gun. After getting caught, he tried to falsify a bill of sale to try and prove that the gun was in fact somebody else's. Presley will spend the next 7 years in prison.
That's correct, Aisha. Many of the charges related to the indictment point to Young Thug's rap lyrics as well as social media posts.
Now, one of the things we always try to talk about is stopping the self-snitching, correct?
Rap is like an art, and folks usually say you should distinguish between the artistic creation and its creator. But sometimes, these rappers spill the beans in their music, leading them into a whole heap of trouble. Although a number of jurisdictions have opposed the utilization of a rapper's lyrical content as evidence in legal proceedings, others take a less lenient stance, proactively pursuing rappers who openly discuss their criminal activities within their musical compositions. One of the rappers that got caught snitching on himself was 30 Deep Grimeyy, a St. Louis rapper. He's currently sitting in jail after being sentenced to almost 8 years in prison for gun-related charges. Deep Grimey's rise to fame. The rapper's childhood was riddled with a lot of violence and wrong decisions. His mother got pregnant with him when she was 17, and her mother kicked her out the house.
Mama got kicked out when she got pregnant with me at 17. My granny didn't want her with me, so she kicked my mom out. We moved in the Ville where my mama and my daddy from. And when we moved from the Ville, we moved on the west side off Goodfellas National Bridge off First.
They had to move to the west side of the city. He was born Arthur Presley and grew up to love skating. When he was a kid, Grimeyy would go to the skating rink with his friends and explore new styles. It was through his love for skating that he got his stage name. The name 30 Deep came as he and his skating homies started getting older and getting involved in the street life. He moved from the Ville to the west side and used to roll 30 Deep with his crew.
30 of us walking down Goodfellas, walking down Natural Bridge. We caught a motherfucker we ain't like, you know?
They were terrorizing their ops, and it was pretty much a gang situation, and that wasn't the first gang he was a part of. Since he was a kid, probably less than 6, he had been a member of the Crips because it was a family tradition.
So, at what point did you start really getting mixed up in the streets?
Like birth.
His grandmother and mother were member of the Crips, and he automatically was born into that life.
All right, you can go on my page and see baby pictures of me throwing up the deuce. Like, I've been the deuce ever since I can remember. Like, I don't know when. Like, I've been a deuce since a kid.
Grimeyy started rapping in middle school as a pastime, but when he got arrested at the age of 17 and was placed on probation, he became more serious with music and decided to build a career. Things weren't moving forward for him in regards to his rep, although he was slowly becoming a local star. Being a local star may get you some extra fries at your local restaurant, but it won't get you a lot of deals. So when he got the chance to meet NWMC Murder, he didn't fail to ask for a feature. The track was released in 2019 while Grimeyy was still on probation, and it changed his life. His label started calling him to offer him deals. Grimey's career started seeing a significant boost until January 5th, 2021, when he was arrested again. The St. Louis Metropolitan Police stopped him while driving and asked for his license and registration. He was driving a 2008 Pontiac G8, but showed the cops paperwork registered for a Jeep. The police also found a Beretta 92 FS 9mm pistol on the passenger seat beside Grimeyy. Now, the problem was that the rapper was still under probation at the time of the arrest, so he was undoubtedly going to face a long sentence. Grimey's trial started in October 21. Some of the evidence presented in court included a gun document to prove that the gun was registered, but it turned out that the documents were fake, and it just made the case worse for him. His lyrics also worked against him in court, as the prosecutor said that his lyrics revealed the crimes he and his gang members performed. The prosecutor argued that he was the leader of the 30 Deep gang, although his lawyers argued that 30 Deep was a brand and not a gang.
These guys look like terrorists, and I'd rather have them pick up golf clubs.
The lawyer even compared the 30 Deep brand to Kanye West Yeezys, but the judge wasn't buying it. Back to the issue of his lyrics that got him in trouble. In his song Zombie, he rapped, "What you see? I see a killer when I look up in the mirror, screaming free my grimy Crips. I fill my 40 with zombie tips." And this was just one of his many songs where he glorified drugs and violence. Grimeyy defended himself, saying that he feels the prosecution is against him because of his stage name, and it seems like he's standing on trial for murder. But the judge refuted his statement, saying that he was flashing guns in his music video and on social media, and that was the point of the trial. Lyrics on trial. 30 Deep Grimeyy wasn't the only rapper that got in trouble for their lyrics. As I said at the beginning of the video, rappers tend to snitch on themselves in their songs, and not all state prosecutors can separate the art from the artist.
Smith & Wesson 45 put a hole in his heart, better not play with me. Killers stay with me. I shot at his mommy, now he no longer mentioned me. We believe that Mr. Williams doesn't sing about random theoretical acts.
100 rounds in a Tahoe, I'm prepared to take him down.
Another rapper that got in trouble for their lyrics was Young Thug. He's being charged for a robbery and attempted murder. Everything went sideways for the rapper when the prosecutor played a part of one of his songs, Slime Shit, that said, 100 rounds in a Tahoe, nigga lighten up your tacos. Hey, give him surgery, no lipo. Down, man, that bitch'll pull you down. Pull up to a nigga town, I'm prepared to take him down. Before now, prosecutors have tried to convict rappers with their music, but feared that the jury would ignore the evidence. One time, a judge threw out a case a prosecutor was trying to make against Tiny Do. They claimed that even if he wasn't directly involved in the crime, his lyrics still promoted violence. The judge wasn't having it because it was an unreasonable argument, which wasn't far from the truth. If artists are to be convicted based on their lyrics, jails would be packed and overflowing. Sometimes artists just drop bars that have no meaning, while others actually live that life. But who's to decide what's real and what's not? Bobby Shmurda was another rapper whose lyrics implicated him in a criminal case. As he became popular, he moved around with a crew and they called themselves GS9. But they were more of a group of young rappers than a gang, even though they practiced gang activities.
Just before we arrested him, he tweeted that he'd be holding a concert at a secret location. I don't think that he was aware that that location is now going to be the New York State's.
Their way of life soon caught up with them when in December 2014, Bobby and 14 others were arrested on counts of endangerment, conspiracy to murder, and possession of a firearm. To gather evidence to push the case, they started monitoring his social media because the rapper is known to be a loudmouth. As they investigated, they decided to check his lyrics and found something incriminating to pin on him. In his song Hot Dude, he said, I swear to God all I do is cash out, and if you ain't a hoe, get up out my trap house. I've been selling crack since like the 5th grade. Really made no difference what the shit made.
Bobby, what do you have to say to your fans? Bobby, anything?
This was an open admission of a crime. He was already being investigated for drug possession, so the lyrics gave the police a clue as to how much involvement he had in the crime. That's not where things ended, because he mentioned the names of other GS9 members, and all that information was used against him in court. He was sentenced to 25 years in prison after pleading guilty to the charges. Famous rappers aren't the only ones that get implicated through their lyrics. They are also going for smaller fish, like Lawrence Montague, that rapped over the prison phone to his friend. In the freestyle, he dropped lyrics that the prosecutors used to further hammer on his case, and they argued for a longer sentence. He was eventually found guilty of the gun and murder charges against him due to those lyrics and was sentenced to 50 years in prison. Glorifying criminal behavior.
And so, Lil Rapper, he says some shit. Everything that he says, as long as it's germane to the case, as long as it's relevant, can come into evidence.
Rap has always been a distinct form of music, and just like every other art form, it's open to interpretation. When something is not entirely clear, people tend to add their personal meanings based on their biases, and that's why many rappers suffer due to their lyrics. YNW Melly is a great example of this case. In 2017, he released a track called Murder on My Mind, which talked about him fantasizing about shooting and killing a person. After his 2 friends got shot in his car and he survived, many people assumed that Murder on My Mind was an account of the crime. But the rapper released the songs years before the murder happened, and he was lucky that the song wasn't admissible as evidence in court. Lots of people just assume rappers are always caught up in gang stuff, even if they're not actually a part of it. There's this notion that they've got some kind of gang connection. It's almost like they're expected to be in Bloods or the Crips, and it doesn't make things any better when they do stuff that kinda confirms it, like throwing up gang signs in their videos or hanging out with famous gang members. But there is a predetermined bias on the topic. If rappers should get punished for their lyrics, it would mean the justice system is automatically tilted against everyone in the entertainment industry. One rhyme could become the reason a rapper is separated from their friends and family for life. The world of rap is a unique art form, often prompting debates about the separation between artistic expression and the individuals creating it. While certain jurisdictions reject the notion of using a rapper's lyrical content as concrete evidence in legal proceedings, others adopt a more aggressive stance, actively pursuing those who openly discuss criminal activities in their musical works. This whole situation makes people argue about whether art and fairness in the law can get along. Some say if we blame artists for their lyrics, it can mess things up for everyone in the entertainment world. But others think those lyrics can actually tell us important stuff about real-life crimes. Let us know how you feel about the situation in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Stay blessed, y'all.